Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to this new little side series I might be doing every now and then called Rare Anime Finds. And I want to start off by talking about one anime that I recently discovered in the past few months. It's an anime that's, of course, based off a manga. It's originally based off a manga, of course, but is actually being known as one of the very first magical girl animes and mangas, basically, in existence, basically being dubbed as one of the very first ones. And it is called, here in the United States, I guess, Marvelous Melmo, Melmo, or in Japan, Fuchikana Melmo, or in Italy, I Bonbon Magica di Lily, or whatever. So we'll just call him Marvelous Lily, and if you want to know what the names are, it's right there, so just to let you know. Yeah, but this is the character right here, but this is not really her actual design. For some of you that don't know about the series, and that's why I'm doing this, to kind of get people an idea of what the series is about. I'm also kind of learning about it myself, and it's kind of very, very confusing. So, and fortunately I have some text here that'll help me out. But again, it's very, very confusing. Basically the story is this. Lily, because like I said, we're just going to call her Lily. That's the easier ways to pronounce her name. Thank you, Italy, for that. But basically, Lily, according to what it says here in the plot summary, loses her mom in a car accident. And basically by losing her mom in a car accident, she, at 9 years old, Lily at 9 years old, is left to basically take care of her two younger siblings, or brothers. Realizing that this is a task far beyond her means, especially for her age, Lily's mom actually, believe this or not, actually asked God to help her provide for Lily to take care of her younger siblings, brothers, if you will, in her absence. Basically give her the means to do so. So basically what God does is he hands Lily's mom, who's in heaven with him, a bottle of blue and red candy. Not a bottle, but a jar. I think it's a bottle, it's what they say. A bottle of blue and red candy. And that's the candy you see right there. And this candy will allow her to basically take care of her family in her mom's absence. So basically the candy enables her to do a few things, and I want you to listen closely for those of you that don't know about this, and because it might sound a little confusing. But basically, according to the text here, the blue candy allows her to transform herself into either an adult, if she takes the blue candy, an adult of any age, from what I understand, or an infant if she uses the red candy, basically back into her younger self. And that a combination of the two can reduce her. Now this is where it's going to get complicated. A combination of the two can reduce her to a fetus, an embryo, if you will, and then allow her to change into any animal she imagines. So basically what they're saying is that, okay, at 9 years old, if she takes the blue, okay, hear me out, now listen carefully, because it doesn't show much more information than what I'm reading, but basically, at 9 years old, if she takes the blue candy at 9 years old, she will age 10 to 11 years. So basically, she'll age up to 19 into a beautiful 19 to 20-year-old woman that you see right here. This is her 19-year-old, 20-year-old version of herself. And that taking the red candy will reduce her age basically back to her standard age. So in other words, if she takes the red candy, in her 19, 20-year-old form, she'll reduce back down to her 9-year-old self. 9, 10-year-old self. Now, here's the thing though, and here's where it gets tricky. If she takes the blue candy while she's still an adult, the blue candy allows her to age into any age she wants, apparently. For example, from what I read online and I've seen here on YouTube, apparently there's an episode where there's this scene, where there is this old man. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. I've been up all day. That's better. But there's this old man who's alone. He's lost his wife. So what Lily decides to do is she decides to use the blue candy to wish herself older. Now, I don't know if she does this while she's still 9 years old, but I'm pretty sure she probably does it when she's 19 and allows her to grow a little older. So basically, she uses it to become an old lady. Now, here's the thing. Hear me out. They said the red candy reduces her to an infant. In other words, it changes her into an infant. I guess if she uses it at any age, either it's her adult age or mainly her 9-year-old age, it reduces her into an infant. And that I think she has to take the blue candy or the red candy to restore herself or something. Again, I'm just going by what I've read online, folks. I don't really know much about it. That's why this series is called, this little sub-series or side series, excuse me, is called Rare Anime Finds. Now, another thing about this too, again, and I'm hoping you're keeping score here, folks, because it's even a little difficult for me. But basically, here's the other thing. I mentioned earlier that it said that she can use both pills, both candies, to change herself into a fetus and then into any animal she wants. That's what kind of gets a little confusing, because you don't know if she does that. I mean, mainly what I see sometimes is she uses it, from what I've seen, she uses it when she's 9 years old. She basically does this at 9 years old. And there have been a few times she has done this. She did this, I think, like in the 5th episode, from what I understand, where they visited this island, and all the this kind of polluted island or something like that, toxic wasted island or something like that, and it's basically called the Island of Love or something like that. And basically she notices that all the animals have mates except for one, and that's a male rabbit, because his mate was killed due to, I think, due to some kind of poisonous reason or something. So what happens is she feels sorry for this male rabbit. So what she does, and this is when she's at her standard age of 9 years old, 9, 10 years old. She feels sorry for the rabbit, so what she does is she takes both pills, reduces herself to a fetus, embryo if you will, and then she is reborn into a female rabbit, into a young, full-grown female rabbit, who basically, I guess this male rabbit looks at as a potential mate until I guess she kind of explains what's going on or something. I don't really know. I don't understand Italian, I don't understand Japanese, and there's no subtitles. But basically, yeah, she does that. And it's not the first time. She does it again a few episodes later, where she sees this young puppy getting bullied by these other dogs. So she uses both candies to change herself into, again, an embryo fetus, and thus have herself reborn as a full-grown female dog. Who apparently the puppy, who gets his hands on the blue candy, which allows him to age into a full-grown adult dog, kind of hits on a little bit later on in the episode. again, she does this, I think, and she does this twice in this episode. And I think even there's an episode out there, I can't think of which one it is. I don't know if it's the same one that I'm talking about or if it's a different one. But she actually tries to change into a dog, but she accidentally turns into a cat with a, kind of like the upper portion of her body's a cat, and the bottom portion's a dog. So even that makes mistakes. And then there's an episode where she does it again. She changes into a rabbit. She changes into a mouse. I think even a dog. And this is where things really start to get a little bit more stricter. A little bit more serious with the character and her power. This is basically where her powers become more serious. Where she starts to take her powers, her shape-shifting powers of regression, age regression or aggression or evolution, if you will, gift seriously. Because what happens is, from what I understand, from what I've seen and read, she basically sees that this magician is deceiving a lot of people, and she doesn't like this. So being asked to volunteer for some of these tricks, she uses the candy back and forth to turn herself into different animals. She turns herself into a mouse. She turns herself into a rabbit, into a dog. And again, like I said, ironically, this is the episode where she has to take it seriously now, because God, of all people, sees this. And no offense, Lord. But God, of all people, sees this and says, you know what? She wants to abuse her power just to teach this guy a lesson. I have an idea. Next time she changes into an animal, whatever animal she changes into, she's going to stay that way until she learns her lesson. And that's basically what happens for most of this episode. She ends up turning into a dog, into the dog that she was a few episodes before, and she gets stuck that way until the end of the episode, to where she's given the ability to use the candies to change back to normal, but with the promise that she will not abuse it again. And to make sure she doesn't, they kind of limit her on her supply. Like she still has all this, but once she runs out, that's it. So again, this is kind of, my dog's scratching back there. But again, this is basically one of those, as it was dubbed, one of the first magical girl mangas and animes. So again, I don't know much about it, and I apologize. But again, it's just one of those. It's just one of those animes. It's really a rare find, because I have not seen anybody. I have not seen anybody talk about it or review it or anything on YouTube, on any anime sites, on any. I haven't seen anybody make a form or anything on toonzone.com or org or whatever it is. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of that. So that's why I consider it a rare anime find. And what's surprising about this is, for some of you that may know and may not know, this was actually created by the same guy that gave us Astro Boy. That's right. That's right. The same person that gave us Astro Boy, Osamu Texaco, or whatever his name is. I'm trying to find his name. I know his name's in here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Osamu, this is the guy right here. Osamu Texaco, or OT as I like to call him. OT as I like to call him, But again, basically the Godfather of Anime. And he's the one that created it. And for some of you that don't know who he is, but you might recognize some of the titles that I'll mention, like Baji, Mighty Monster of Nature, Bandar Book, The 1 Million Year Trip, the adult anime version of 101 Arabian Nights, the adult anime version, Astro Boy, like I said, Gigantor, Princess Knight, and the list just goes on. But again, he was responsible for all those animes and mangas, and including this one as well. So that's why, like I said, it's got the story that it has. From what I understand, from what I've read, I haven't seen much of the end. I haven't seen the ending or anything. But from what I understand, she does reunite with her mom, believe it or not. Basically, what happens is the last episode shows her in the future, shows her future self married and everything, and their daughter, her and her husband's daughter, accidentally, and it seems she still has a supply of candy left, because it still gets replenished, but it's like if she, runs out, that's it or something. I don't know. It's really confusing, folks. But basically, I guess she has some candy left over, and her daughter in the future takes a bite out of it, basically eats it before she could stop her from eating it. Her daughter, Lily's daughter in the future, eats it, and before she could stop her, and before she can get to her, like I said, the daughter eats it. Lily's daughter in the future eats it, and what surprises Lily is the outcome, is that not only does her daughter grow up into a young adult, but she grows up into her mother, into Lily's mother. Basically, Lily's mother's spirit got reincarnated into Lily's daughter. So, yeah, that's again, it's really a confusing anime. You have to watch it to understand what I mean, understand what I'm trying to say. I try to watch it when I can, but I really hope they find a way to dub this in English. I really do, and hopefully they can find decent English voice actors and actresses to do the dubbing with. So, but that's all I'm going to say. Again, this is just a side thing I'm going to do every now and then. So I don't know when I'm going to do the next one. But comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you agree with what I had to say here? And have you seen this? And maybe do any of you know more about it? But let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to y'all later.